Yeah.
Hey yo, man, it's your time. And fuck poverty. Get this money, man. What the fuck you gotta do, you know what I'm saying?
I can tell you're mad at me just by how your face look. You can check the status on my love.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pnljudgementals podcast. I'm Leroy. No Philip this week, so let's get into it. Viral video of the week. This is from my nephew. I don't know if this was viral or not. He sent it to me. This is the first time I saw this video anywhere. Here we have a boyfriend attempted to give his baby mom a ride while his current girlfriend is in the car. Here's the video.
This dumbass, you got me in the car looking like a fucking dummy.
I was trying to do a kind gesture.
No, kind gesture my ass. I don't give a fuck.
That's the current girlfriend howling.
Look, if that's your baby mama, she could take the bus.
Okay.
I don't care if she could take the train. I don't give a fuck. Let her ass walk. She got a whole nother nigga over you over here worried about this shit, picking this damn girl. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Why the fuck is that? Why am I even in this situation? You should have told me you was picking her ass.
Well, I agree with the current girlfriend. You should have said something about that before she even got in the car. I don't understand what some of these young folks is thinking about nowadays, but here we go.
No, I don't want to hear that shit.
Come on, man.
I don't want to hear that shit though.
You should care that he still be picking me up without.
Look, I ain't got time for that bullshit. You can walk your ass to wherever the fuck you gotta go. Walk your ass wherever the fuck you gotta go. He ain't gotta give you a ride. I bet his ass ain't gonna give your ass another ride. Bet you the fuck he won't. Bye.
Now, the question is the kid with the baby mom that he was picking up? Because if she doesn't have a car or anything like that, and the kid needed to go, I don't know, daycare or whatever, and that was my kid, and I had a girlfriend, I would pick her up, but I would let my girlfriend know what I'm doing. I'm going to pick up such and such and take my daughter to whatever, to the store, to school or whatever, I don't know. But to not say anything about it, and just so the current girlfriend sitting in the car, and all of a sudden my man, he pulls up and she tries to get in the car, I can understand why she's upset.
Bye. Why is you still here though? Why is you still here?
Bye. We gone.
Bye. Fuck.
All right, that was it. Ladies and gentlemen, especially for our young brothers out there, communication is the key. You gotta learn to communicate. If you don't learn to communicate, then you might as well not even be in a relationship if you can't talk. Because I would have just told her I have to pick up whatever her name is and take my daughter to daycare or school or something. You don't have that woman in that situation like that. I can understand why she's upset. I'm on her side. So yeah, that was it. That was a little short video. So shout out to my nephew for sending this to me. Shout out to him for listening too, by the way. So thank you for listening. Next up, we in Houston, Texas, where a CPS worker encouraged on video a 14-year-old girl to try prostitution. Here's the report.
And we begin tonight with a story that you'll only see here on Fox. An employee with Child Protective Services is caught on camera telling a 14-year-old girl in foster care to become a prostitute.
That's right, and this girl is one of hundreds of kids in CPS custody living in hotels all over the state. Fox 26's Randy Wallace live from Southwest Houston here with this story. Randy, the exclusive.
Shout out to Randy, because Randy looks like Ray Liotta. And my man got on a nice Nordica polo shirt. My man looked like he was just golfing somewhere and just had to go to work today. Like they had somebody call sick and he had to fill in for somebody or something.
Yeah, Jonathan. Now, earlier this year, a federal judge scorned child.
He looks like the old version of Ray Liotta, the one that had his face, had a whole bunch of face surgeries, got his face pulled back. That Ray Liotta.
Child Protective Services for making kids available for prostitution in the CPS system. Now we have a case where an employee with that state agency is actually encouraging prostitution of a 14-year-old child.
You're gonna be a hoe, be a real hoe.
Wouldn't they remove a child from a parent that told their child to be a prostitute?
They should. And they would.
Keisha Basley has 9 kids. She turned to Child Protective Services to help her with her 14-year-old daughter, who she says was running away and causing trouble at school.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? This woman has 9 kids, and this girl is in CPS custody because she keep running away.
Daughter told me that the worker had been telling her that she should do these things, so she said she decided to video her.
CPS is housing the girl at a hotel. She's one of dozens in Harris County. In the video, she tells the CPS employee she wants food. The CPS worker tells her to be a prostitute. I mean, she was basically encouraging a 14-year-old girl to become a prostitute.
And giving her an incentive to do so, and almost a threat of not having her needs being met if she didn't do what this woman very explicitly told her to do.
Shout out to Mike Schneider, I think that's his name. He could be a lawyer, do your taxes and everything. He just got that look that look about him.
The parent, was to do something like this to my child, I would be bashed. I would be called a horrible parent. I would lose my kids.
Well, you already got a kid in CPS custody. What the hell? You got 9 of them.
Get your tail to that room.
Basley filed a formal complaint with CPS.
This should not happen to girls in their care. This should not happen. This is unacceptable.
Jamie Masters, the commissioner of CPS, came to Houston to personally apologize to Basley and her daughter.
I've never seen that happen before, where a commissioner of CPS comes in from Austin just to apologize about something that's horrible that's been done to a child and a parent involved with CPS.
I do not believe that that was genuine. I really don't.
It's bad enough if it's one rogue caseworker. It concerns me that it may be bigger than that, and they need to investigate this and make sure that it's not just one person, and they've got to figure out a way to protect these kids.
CPS sent us the following prepared statement. DFPS is aware of the video and has taken action. The person in the video, who was employed as CPS support staff, was dismissed from her position August 10th. The safety and appropriateness with which children in care must be treated is our paramount concern. Nothing less will be tolerated. Reporting live from the Southwest Side, Randy Wallace, Fox 26 News.
Well, as you heard, they fired. Shout out to Randy Wallace also, Radiola Jr. or Radiola's big brother. I don't know who's older now. It looks like he probably was older than the late great Radiola. Well, as you see that they fired the social worker. Well, here's another video where they're talking about firing a worker. Well, report.
And only on Fox tonight, Child Protective Services fires an employee caught on camera telling a 14-year-old girl in foster care to be a prostitute. But that state agency said nothing about the video's existence during a recent court hearing. Fox 26's Randy Wallace joins us live from downtown.
It's our boy back on the case too, Randy Wallace.
I'm with that exclusive, Randy.
And he has on a better shirt too. he actually knew he was going to work that day. Wasn't filling in for somebody that was sick.
Yes, Sherman, you would think the judge overseeing the 14-year-old girl's custody case would need to know about the cell phone video, but apparently CPS didn't think so.
You're gonna be a real hoe. She's a mother of 9, and she does have a daughter who has had some behavioral problems.
That's why Keisha Basley turned to Child Protective Services. But then her 14-year-old daughter told her when she told us.
I've never heard of that before, where a kid is bad or a bad kid and the parent just say the hell with it and put the kid in CPS. Does that sound right to y'all? Because it doesn't make any sense to me. What happened to just therapy or going to a psychologist?
CPS employee, she was hungry.
I'm pretty sure she you can't say she don't have the money to take the kid to see a therapist, because she got 9 of them, and you already know the rest, where she getting her money from.
That worker told her to become a prostitute. The daughter recorded the CPS worker on her cell phone.
I was there, because the worker had been, in fact, telling her, this is how you can make money. You need to do this. I used to do this, and you could do the same thing.
You're basically telling a child that lives in a hotel you can make $1,500 a day.
So is this child living in this hotel room by herself? She's 14. This just is not, doesn't sound right to me. And when I say doesn't sound right, meaning the mom is the number one at fault.
You're a prostitute.
Right, and also it might be something you want to do if you want to eat.
When I saw the video with that lady, it's like my soul left my body.
I think that they're threatened by the fact that this video even exists. They know about it. They've apologized. The head of CPS has apologized about this. What they didn't do was tell the court that's dealing with this case that that's what's going on. Yesterday, they asked the court to dismiss this case.
Attorney Mike Snyder says Thursday, CPS was hoping to dismiss the case and get the 14-year-old girl out of the state's care. That didn't happen. The girl is now living in a foster home instead of a hotel.
So now she's in a foster home. Instead of the mom saying, well, okay, to hell with this, I'm going to take care of my child. She's still not taking care of her child, and now she's in a foster home. Mom is number one at fault.
Have a therapist. They don't have no therapist. You don't want them.
The fact that they don't think it's relevant that their own agency is trying to prostitute a child, that's incredibly disingenuous to have a hearing and not bring that to the court's attention.
Now, CPS sent us a prepared statement. DFPS is aware of the video and has taken action. The person in the video, who was employed as CPS support staff, was dismissed from her position August 10th. The safety and appropriateness with which children in care must be treated is our paramount concern. Nothing less will be tolerated. Reporting live from downtown, Randy Wallace, Fox 26 News.
Now, on the video that the child recorded, you can barely hear what the CPS social worker was saying. So they have it here, and I quote, "The young girl in CPS custody was staying in the hotel, according to her mother, Keisha Baisley. During the teen's recording of the employee, you can hear her ask the worker for food. 'Can you get me something to eat, please?' the teen asked. 'You know there ain't no food in there,' the employee responded. Then the CPS worker told her the following: 'That's how my mama taught me. You want to be a hoe? Be a real hoe. He'll feed you.' And how much money you got in your pocket? Yeah, that's how you hoe." Now, all jokes aside, you know this child trafficking stuff. You know, kids that's runaways in CPS custody or foster kids, you know, that's a breeding ground for sex traffickers. And I believe that the girl was doing something. I don't know, maybe that's what she was in there for, because she was being fast, quote unquote fast, or promiscuous. I don't know what you want to call it. And I can't believe that this worker just all of a sudden just talked to her about hoeing. And I believe that's what she was doing. Because, like, when the point when she said how much money you got in your pocket, like, okay, so you doing all this promiscuous stuff and don't have any money. So I think that that's what the girl was doing. And I believe this is conversations that her and a social worker were having. And just this day, she just happened to record her, because they've been talking about hoeing and all this stuff. I don't believe that the worker just came off the bat and said something like that. Not to say the worker is not wrong. The worker is wrong, and they should have fired her for talking that way. But look, this how let's be real. This is how all this child sex trafficking and all this stuff. Where you think they getting these kids from? The damn CPS. And foster homes and all this stuff, runaways and everything. And you in Houston, Texas too, because then we have a report before that they said Houston, Texas was like a breeding ground for sex trafficking. I think we did, if I'm not mistaken. If anybody out there that listens to us, let me know, because I think we had a conversation, because I think that the FBI had bust a house or something. in Houston, and they said that was a breeding ground of sex traffickers. I don't remember what episode, but it sounds kind of familiar. So anyone else out there that listens, let me know that we actually had this conversation before. But yeah, so I mean, take care of your children, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, we got Mohammed Bilal El Amin, an Atlanta resident, was arrested for being on a run for a murder he committed in 1994. And where else they arrested him at? In Atlanta. Here's the report.
New at 10 tonight, it was an arrest 28 years in the making. Tonight, the family of Jafar Tucker says they're hopeful that justice will finally be served. He was shot to death at the Oakland City Transit Station in southwest Atlanta way back in 1994. As Fox 5's George Franco reports now, the murder suspect is in jail tonight after his arrest in Oconee County.
It was November 27th, 1994, around 2:30 in the afternoon, when 18-year-old Stafford Tucker was shot in the face after getting off a train here at the Oakland City Transit Station. 28 years later, the suspect is behind bars after a random registration check in Oconee County.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to place you into custody today, okay?
Tuesday afternoon in Oconee County, a man with a suspended South Carolina driver's license.
This dude on the run for 28 years and driving around with a damn suspended driver's license. And he's in Atlanta, where the case happened. Why wouldn't the hell you be in Atlanta? I wouldn't go nowhere near Georgia at all if I'm on a run.
Suspended registration and no insurance is arrested.
Oh, and no insurance also. Suspended license, no insurance. You driving in a car.
During a random registration check at East Monroe Highway, the man's ID says he is Race Seckham. He says he's headed to a hospital in Athens to visit a sick uncle and is depended on.
I have children, I have a sick uncle, and I run the household.
But
my man just trying to doing everything to get out of that situation.
Investigators say a fingerprint check at the jail identified Seckham as Mohammed Bilal Amin, wanted for the fatal shooting of 18-year-old Jafar Tucker. Tucker's uncle, who now lives in Portland, Oregon, says he promised his sister, Jaffar's mother, who died a few years ago, that justice would be served.
My family needs justice. They need closure. This is the best closure that my family could have. My sister was here today. She will be soaking in tears.
El Amin, who had a nationwide FBI bulletin on him for years, is now at the Fulton County Jail charged with murder. Oconee County deputies Devin Blair and Lex Ogan, who arrested El Amin, instrumental in helping Jafar Tucker's family find a path toward justice.
The good Lord looks after all of us, and in the best ways he sees fit. And if the paper's been out there for that long, sooner or later, law enforcement's going to continue to look until we find people.
I know that eventually he would get caught. I had put it in my heart that I've forgiven him, but I can't forget.
Jafar Tucker's uncle says he will return to Atlanta from Portland to attend the trial of El Amin. In southwest Atlanta, I'm George Franco, Fox 5 News.
Damn, 28 years. 28 years for committing a crime in Atlanta. They found you in Atlanta. Maybe subconsciously he wanted to get court. He been having that guilt on him for 28 years, and maybe this was a way for him to get court subconsciously. I don't know. Well, UFC 278 was last night in Salt Lake City, Utah. It was a good but weird card. And I'm only going to talk about the main event card. I'm not going to talk about the preliminaries or the early preliminaries. The first start of the main card was Tyson Pedro versus Harry Hunsucker. Tyson knock out Pedro versus Harry Hunsucker. Fight ended in the first round. KO. Tyson knocked him out. That was a good fight there. And light heavyweight, he's going to give a lot of people in the light heavyweight division trouble. I'm talking about Tyson. So the next one was Wu Yanan versus Lucy Pedrova. Good fight there by Lucille. She won with a TKO in the second round. She looked good for the women's bantamweight. Another one that's going to give anyone's trouble. She was in a UFC before and left, got a couple of wins and came back. Next up on the fight was Jose Aldo versus Merab Dizabiridi. Weird fight there. That fight could have went any other way. Dizabiridi won with a unanimous decision. That was Jose Aldo couldn't really do much because the guy was pressuring him and was trying to take him down. He had a lot of takedowns. Let me see how many takedowns did he have. Merab had 16 takedowns and completed none of them. So he was too busy trying to take him down. Aldo was too busy trying to defend the takedown, and he really couldn't do much. He really couldn't get off how he wanted to. He only had 59 total strikes the whole fight compared to Merab's 135. So, yeah, the fight was it was pretty much a nothing fight, but I can see it was I can see Merab winning that fight. I'm sorry. Yeah, I can see him winning that fight. Next up, we got this fight. Paulo Costa versus Luke Rockhold. Costa won a unanimous decision, and what the hell? Luke Rockhold gassed very early. I don't know what was the high elevation from Utah, but yeah, he's gassed. I've never seen him gas like that. Gas where he put his hands on his knees and bend it down. You know that motion. And they have that as fight of the night. Yeah, I could see it, but it really wasn't. But yeah, that one fight of the night last night. Next up was the main event. Was Kamaru Usman versus new welterweight champion Leon Edwards. Leon won with a KO at like a minute left in a fifth round in the fight. So Leon Edwards was losing the whole day. No, he might have won what round? He won the second round, lost the first round, won the second round, losing the third and fourth, and was losing this fifth round. So the guy was dejected. He had no fight in him. He did a jab and a high kick and knocked Usman out cold to become the new welterweight champion. I'm laughing because I was looking at it, and I'm like, oh man, this is over with. Then he made that kick. I was like, oh shit! I like howling out real loud or whatever. So yeah, so it was a good weird card. Salt Lake City, Utah. It was a good one in a weird way. So, TV movie talk. I'll save all that stuff when Philip is here. Philip is here next week. So, thank you for listening to me, ladies and gentlemen. And to reach us, you can reach us on Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok at pnljudgementals. Instagram at _judgementals, or you can email us at pnljudgementals@gmail.com. Thank you for listening to me. Y'all have a good day.
Most of y'all is associates, so I be on my dolo. Hold up, whoa, hold the phone. You think all I do is rap? I can do it on my own. That's why I produce the track. Don't wonder where my crew is at. They'll be back. Niggas see me walking on the block and look like, who is that? Who is that? People always wanna know where my friends is at, like we attached. I don't need no crew to produce the same effect. How lame is that? Niggas say that we drawlin', but really we ballin'. They mad cause they fallin'. We rottin', they successful, but stressful.